Welcome to London, Romain.
Thank you, Andrew.
And welcome to London New. In this video, we will talk about how the Surfer Trilogy is completing. It's finishing.
Yeah, we're at the end.
The only place we can tell a story is in the Time+Tide Discovery Studio. Swing around, Pavel. This is the London Watch Discovery Studio, and we are here to talk about this watch, the last and final of the Surfer Trilogy. I have one stop that I want you to start on because I see you're wearing the GFJ caliber 135, which has been huge.
Yeah.
And unexpectedly to me, I thought this is a more niche appeal watch. What's happening with this watch? Why is everyone losing their minds?
Yeah, it's true. At Watches and Wonders, we had a very good feedback, very strong appeal coming from the watch community, watch aficionados. But it's a revival of a fantastic legendary caliber. So I think it really speaks to the audience.
The action keeps going because the reason I've asked for this is because I want to show you something. Never done this before with a case back, but it has to be done with a GFJ. Let's have a look, see if this works. Oh, this movement.
So you can see this huge balance wheel, 13 millimeters, exactly how it was in 1949 when it was created. And this brick guilloche once again on the movement, which is a brand new decor, never been done. Once again, tribute to the founder. It was a 40-hour power reserve product back then. It slept like for 63 years in our museum. And then we revived it, we improved it, we have a stop second, and now we have 72 hours of power reserve.
Yeah, amazing. And look, if you don't know the story of Zenith as a movement manufacturer and just how primary and fundamental it is to the brand, then you just need to be reminded of one fact, which is that in the observatory, or in the chronometry, which was the official atomic clock of mechanical watches, it was a Zenith that was used to measure the accuracy of other watches.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Were Zenith clocks.
Yes. So, Romain, for people that haven't been here, what are your first impressions? How would you describe this space?
It feels great. Honestly, it feels like home. Great location, great space, very clear. You can identify the brand, so I'm really liking it. Congrats. Good job.
Just missing Zenith.
That's true. That's the first thing I noticed.
Now it's time to get to something that is on your mind. You're thinking to yourself, it's understandable that we would do one collaboration together with one name, the Zenith Time+Tide Defy Classic Skeleton Night Surfer, a watch that was in micro-blasted titanium with this liquid gradient dial. This is 2021. 2021.
Yep.
That makes perfect sense. But why would we do a sequel and then a trilogy? I'm sure that's on your mind. What is your answer to that? I've never asked you this question.
No, that's true. It's a very good question. I think that, honestly, the success has been huge. We received so many good comments on this first edition. We did 100 units. Then on our side also, we just made the design evolve because the Defy Classic has been, let's say, phased out at some point because we wanted to make the whole design evolve into the Defy Skyline. So honestly, when we had this one, we had to do something together once again because it was a perfect platform to create a new piece with this same kind of recipe.
Yeah. I think there are probably more questions about why we would do the same, almost like an iterative design process. We actually took all of the recognizable Night Surfer elements and upgraded them into this one. Did you find this an interesting idea or did it make sense to you? Because it made sense to me for the simple reason that this one sold so quickly and so unexpectedly that we wanted to have something to give people. Yeah. But then the upgrades were quite huge from this to this.
Yeah, and once again, it was interesting because this one first was an elite movement. Then we evolved the Skyline into an El Primero 3 hands. So for us, it was already a challenge, technically speaking, on our side, but then a very good platform to work together once again. We made also some twists here and there. Some signature that we have made evolve. You remember the talk we had, especially for the applied star in Superluminova that we don't have anymore here, but we made the whole dial skeleton with the lumen on it. And one thing which was not the case on this one, we had done the movement in colors, and this is also something we made it evolve. So once again, it was challenging for us to try to find a good answer to an evolving project.
Yeah. So to recap those changes, because they were quite, there's so many little changes here that we don't want you to miss. In this first version, we had the blue gradient on the bridges or on the skeletonized component, but then the movement was left, you'd call this a dial, but the movement was left metallic and sort of industrial. But we did have this, for the first time ever in Zenith's history, we had a superluminova star. So the star logo was, how did you do that again? It was molded.
Yeah, exactly. But we never did it at some point, strangely.
Yeah.
I remember your remark back then, you never did it. And it's true, we never did it. As the highest point in the sky, you know, the brightest star in the sky, we should have done it before.
But it's sometimes cool. Obvious things are just...
Sometimes we miss this thing.
They're hiding in plain sight.
We need some external eyes to see some things.
And the star graduated in we called this one the Night Surfer El Primero, to really bring home the fact that the engine of the Night Surfer had such an upgrade. Can you explain to people in as simple terms as possible how there is an El Primero movement but no chronograph? What does it mean to have an El Primero movement but no chronograph?
Well, on our side, we wanted to make, as I said, evolve the design of the watch itself. Zenith, of course, is very much related to the high frequency. We never had really a nicely constructed, developed, created evolution of the El Primero 3 hands. So we wanted really to put the challenge on the table for us. It's also very distinctive. It makes the product really different from what you can find on the market, especially with the tenths of a second subdial indicator. So nice evolution once again. It directly become also one of the best sellers of the brand, the Skyline Skeleton. Basically, as you said, it's the 3600 platform. We call it the 3620. But roughly, we took the chronograph module, which is integrated in the thickness, out of this to obtain the 3 hands El Primero.
And that 36 relates to the number of thousand of vibrations per hour of this 5 hertz high beat movement. So again, with Zenith, there's always that edge of every Zenith that has left the manufacturer is a manufacturer movement. And it really brings home that incredible movement expertise. Now, the other thing that happened with the Night Surfer 2 is that we blued the movement through the case back as well. We blued the rotor. So you have this really lovely complementary midnight blue rotor. And
actually, the entire movement is totally blue. I mean, front face and backside.
But quite a dark blue to a point where it wasn't as sympathetic to the dial as the new one. So if that explains, maybe it makes less or more sense that this turned into this. To me, it makes perfect sense. To others, when you look at them side by side, you think...
Totally logic.
Okay, I'm glad we agree. But then to move from I suppose, a Night Surfer story and aesthetic to a complete inversion, what are your memories of our decision to do that? Because I get a little hazy here. I don't remember. Did you propose it? Did I propose it? I remember that there was a Negroni in Singapore between this and this. What was between this and this?
I don't remember either in reality. But I think it was, we did the first story, then the sequel. We're not going to recreate once again the same recipe. We had to make the last one or the end of the trilogy working differently. And obviously you go the opposite way. We did it quite black, shade of gray, and this one now naturally is the opposite.
I'll tell you where my poetic storytelling is at with this. I loved the Dark Knight trilogy. Of all the trilogies, of all the movies, including Star Wars, including Lord of the Rings, including Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, etc., the Dark Knight trilogy is my favorite. And I felt that, what if it was always darkest before the dawn?
Okay.
That's my poetic telling of it. Anyway.
That's a cool way to introduce it.
And initially, I do remember now that I proposed to you that we maintain this electric blue gradient dial so that there could be continuity of the dials. But again, now in this incredible, because there's just something about a white ceramic watch that is singular, and you just can't compare anything else to it. There's nothing that can scratch that itch of a white ceramic watch. I will say that I did buy a Hublot Unico Big Bang 42 in white ceramic a few years ago, and I found it to be the most hard watch to get off my wrist in summer because as you get a tan, it just looks better and better. So I did think a white execution would be a fantastic proper twist, but then why didn't we go electric blue? Because I kept selling you so hard on this, and then there was a bit of a twist in the story.
Yeah, but initially, I remember you came to the manufacturer. You wanted to do the same kind of gradient blue. That was
I still feel the heartbreak.
I'm sorry. But yeah, we were really about to, let's say, not release, but we just finalized the decision to officially release already a blue skeleton movement on our own.
Yes.
Sorry. I know that
it still hurts.
It still hurts. But then we wanted really to evoke white surface, summer look. We didn't talk to each other, and we are dressed like summer. So we needed to change the gradient blue and going more into turquoise than dark blue.
So in order to differentiate this white ceramic Defy Skyline Skeleton from the production piece, we went in the direction of ice blue. And I remember that the emotional journey of that day was intense because I turned up to the meeting not knowing this was going to happen, and I had such an idea in my head that I could never be swayed from. Because if you imagine this with the liquid blue gradient, it's an amazing combination. However, when this news dropped, and I remember exactly, we're up in your office.
Exactly.
If you get a chance, by the way, watch tourism. My number one recommendation when people say, you've been to all of the manufacturers, Andrew, where should you go? I say, for the museum, AP does win. AP wins for the museum. But
it's okay, we don't have any museum, so we can't compete.
Well, it's sort of worked into the space. And like the Charles Vermeau loft is unbelievable. But for the manufacturer experience, including if you're a friend of Time and Tide, maybe a tour of Romain's office, you absolutely have to go to Zenith because it is a beautiful space. Beautiful space, but terrible news for me on this day. So I have bad memories of your office. It was like a headmaster's office. The news dropped. There was then an hour of, I think, I sat in a corner and just thought about how we can salvage this day.
We should have filmed this. Because it's true, you were lonely.
I was lonely.
What the hell's happening?
I was trying to...
You already had all the inspiration, the mood board and stuff.
I had the mood board. I had everything worked out. And this was all come to naught. And then I think the conversation restarted after an hour about the fact that actually ice blue makes even more sense because the tonality of a daytime in whether it's Warton Beach in Western Australia in the sunshine or whether it's the Amalfi Coast or Sardinia. What's your favorite white beach with blue water, if you have one?
If I can choose, Mykonos.
Mykonos, perfect. Suddenly, it makes more sense that this combination locks in as not only the ultimate summer watch in terms of feel, because the reason ceramic is amazing is sand. Sand and a steel watch does not go. As soon as you get any sand near your crown, near the pushers, near any moving part of this watch, you immediately have some memories of the holiday on the watch. Whereas white ceramic, cool to the wrist, incredibly scratch resistant. And now we have this ice blue that, to me, I was thinking, why does that make me feel like the watch also goes up in value? And that's because, Tiffany blue, everything.
Yeah, it's related, absolutely. You have all the big names that are working very closely with turquoise. It's synonymous of valuable timepieces.
Yes.
That's true.
And we hopefully have continued that.
We'll try to continue this legacy.
But let's talk about the differences in this watch. We've talked about the storytelling from here to here to here now and how somehow we turned that day into a very good memory because as the idea started forming, this started to make more sense as both a sort of a locked-in product and as a story. But you amaze me because just when I thought, okay, we have all the elements, nothing else will change, everything else is good, then the process to upgrade this one from this one continued. Do you remember the upgrades that you made and the WhatsApp chats we had?
Yeah, we did a lot of back and forth. I remember we had to convince you.
Yes,
that's for sure.
That was a nice change. Finally, I was Romain was trying to convince me of something. This was at first.
No, but I told you that we can, of course, create something great based on this white ceramic without working with the color codes that we have established before. By creating none other than a brand new color that we never did release on our own. So the turquoise is totally new from us. We like to play with, let's say, visual frequencies. Of course, high frequency, it's our part of the DNA, but also visual frequencies with, putting movements, mechanical movement into different colors. And we never did the turquoise. So it was a kind of obvious thing for me. And then to work on the dial also to make it really well balanced with this white subdials animation, and then the chapter minute tracker, let's say the chapter ring on the external part of the dial also in white to continue. To close a bit the opening of the watch to make it really stand out. And then you have this great gradient blue, which works perfectly here. Once again, we kept and we came back, let's say, to the
we came back to the luminous star.
The luminous star.
The superluminous star. Now, the WhatsApp message that you've forgotten that you sent me was, you said, Andrew, we need to stop production. We've stopped production. It's going to be a little bit later because we found a component.
Yeah, this one.
Tell me about this.
Yeah, that's true. The first prototype, we were not totally finished with the, let's say, the colorization of each and every components, and we still going to have a new one here, just close to the holes where we have the hour and minutes. And it's true that it was not intended to be in color, and now we will have it. So we try also to keep on make the things evolve, and I think it's going to be even more sexier to have this because it's a strong visual impact that this component has here close to the ends.
I feel that the way that the movement's been colorized is the most sympathetic to a dial, and certainly it really sort of highlights the gradient effect of the bridges, which are also loomed. But this was a real strong point for this watch, because I feel that the production piece of the Defy Skyline Skeleton, this one, I would say it's a real dark blue that again separates it from the dial, whereas in this one it is this beautiful blocked ice blue, but if you look closer you do get to see that it gets darker at the top. The other big upgrade was the bracelet, because we were both pretty determined that this be the summer watch of dreams.
Yeah.
So what did we do?
We were going to have this piece included with a rubber strap, of course. Yeah. Of course, we're going to include a second strap. We have this great interchangeable strap system that we have created since 2020 on each and every Defy. And of course, if you want to have a summer watch, you need to have a white rubber strap.
Yes, indeed. Press and lift.
Voila. As simple as that.
Included with this watch is a rubber strap that has some pretty cool textural details, but it really is the summer watch of dreams. Let's talk quickly and fly over these facts, because I'm sure the audience knows the fundamentals of the Defy Skyline Skeleton, but some of the details are, it's 12.2 millimeters thick, is that correct?
Absolutely.
41
millimeter diameter.
And
screw-in crown.
Water resistance.
Water resistance, 100 meters.
Yep. Vibrations per hour, 36,000.
That's an El Primero high frequency movement, of course. So it's a 3 hands basically with a 36,000 VPH vibration per hour, as you said. Absolutely. Skeleton dial or open work. You can call it whatever you want. But for us, it's a skeleton dial, and it's really one of the best seller of the brand since its introduction. The very last models we did in white ceramic was very, very, very successful. So I have big hopes for this one. I'm super confident, honestly. And then of course we have this interchangeable strap system, which make it really, let's say, cool to play with, to change the face of your watch, to exchange one strap to the other. So the perfect summer watch.
Last detail there is 60 hours of power reserve.
Yes.
So more than enough for the weekend. Not that you'll be taking it off on Friday and putting it on Monday, but if you did, you'd be fine. I suppose my last question then for Zenith fans and for people wondering about this, where this watch fits in, is where does the Defy Skyline Skeleton, what does it say about the brand, in the mix of the current Zenith catalog?
But the Defy collection itself is a very contemporary, modern, different approach in terms of target and audience for us compared to, let's say, the aficionados best collection that we have, which is the Chronomaster, only related to a chronograph. Defy is the most complete collection we have, from 36 elite movement up to haute horlogerie movements. So we have double tourbillon, 100th of a second chronograph, we have 0G. The Skyline is one of the two faces we have aesthetically in the collection. So we have the, let's say, the elegant one, sporty elegant one, which is Skyline, and then we have the Extreme that goes more bodybuilded, more bold, of course, bigger in terms of diameters. The Skyline for us is really the most iconic, sporty integrated watch that we have in our lineup compared to all the different products we have in our collection.
Romain, it's been a very friendly and very convivial interview, so I've saved the hardest question for last. Why have you not personally acquired a Night Surfer to this point?
I know, you keep on asking me this one.
I do. I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I know.
Surely we've reached a moment where I will see on your personal account you wearing one of this trilogy. You know that I'm very...
Yeah. No, it's true. It's genuinely something that you're asking me quite often, I must admit, that's for sure. I mean, first of all, I've never acquired any single special edition of any kind from other also friendly partner that we have.
I'm forcing the issue. I'm going to be the first then.
So maybe you're going to be the first one.
Pick a favorite. Pick a child.
Now, honestly, if I have to choose, I think I would take the white one. I would take this one, the new one. Because my taste also evolved a bit compared to my first previous years. And I think I'm ready for the summer with this kind of piece. I can now assuming it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I would choose.
So the call to action of this video, because there is always a call to action, is follow Romain's personal Instagram account, and the day that he wears it, jump on there and say, chapeau, bravo. Romain, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew.
I can't make this too comfortable for you. There has to be that question in every video. This is the third time we've done a video announcing a Time+Tide Zenith collaboration. If there's one every 2 years, I wonder if we'll be talking in 2027.
Let's see where...
21, 23, 25, where we are.
We shall need to have another Negroni.
Exactly.
Then we will be creative.
On that note, it's definitely warming up in London today. All the best from sunny London. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.